Natural perfumers often know the problem before they can name it. A blend may contain beautiful materials, carefully chosen and genuinely loved, yet somehow the finished perfume loses its shape. It smells dense, flat, or confused. The idea is there, but the nose cannot quite find it. This short paper asks why that happens in natural perfumery and why the answer is not as simple as telling people to use fewer materials. You see, a formula can smell rich and still fail to communicate. That distinction is really important. Richness has depth, movement, and relation. Mud has information but without any organisation or structure. A muddy blend asks the nose to work. There's something there, but it gives no meaningful structure to find. The perfumer may have added beauty at every stage, yet the result feels less expressive than the materials did by themselves. Muddy is not a formal scientific diagnosis. It's actually a studio word, a working word, the kind of word that perfumers use when a composition has lost its definition completely. That the contrasts have all collapsed, or that the materials have crowded one another. So the first task is not really to panic, but to diagnose what kind of loss has actually occurred, or what's actually happened. So just diagnose. A perfume is not meant to be a shopping list of recognisable ingredients. In a good accord, materials may fuse so beautifully that we no longer smell them separately. That's not the same as muddiness. That is composition. The difference is coherence. An accord has identity, direction, and necessity. A muddy blend has fusion without form. The question is not, can I name every material? The question is, does the perfume speak clearly? Does it say what it wants to say? Natural materials are never as simple as their labels suggest. Rose is not simply rose, and vetiver is not simply earth. Bergamot, for example, is not simply citrus. Each oil, absolute, resinoid, or tincture is already a small odour world, carrying bright green, floral, fatty, woody, spicy, or terpenic facets in its own proportions. And when we blend natural materials, we are not adding single notes, we are combining living complexities. This is one of the central challenges of natural perfumery. The ingredient count is not the real complexity count. 10 botanical extracts may expose the nose to hundreds of volatile molecules. These molecules do not arrive politely separated into 10 neat compartments. They overlap, compete, suppress, reinforce, and change as the perfume evaporates. So a modest-looking natural formula may already appear far more complex than it actually appears on paper. G.W. Septimus P.S. did not use the modern language of sensory neuroscience, but he understood something essential. Perfumery depends on relation, not accumulation. Materials differ in force, of course. Concentrated odour can mislead. Proportion creates harmony. His work reminds us that muddiness is not a fashionable modern complaint. It is an old compositional failure, the loss of proper relation among powerful aromatic materials. Complexity, however, is not the enemy. Some of the greatest perfumes in the world, natural or otherwise, are highly complex. The problem begins when complexity becomes congestion. More odour information does not automatically mean more expression. Beyond a certain point, adding another attractive material may make the whole perfume harder to read. The blend becomes like a room where too many people are speaking in the same register at the same time. The human nose and brain are obviously remarkable, but they're not unlimited. Research on odour mixtures shows that people become poorer at identifying individual components as mixtures become more complex. This doesn't mean that materials disappear chemically. It means their identities may be suppressed or fused or reorganized. In perception. In perfumery terms, the nose stops reading separate voices and begins to receive one crowded object. Suppression is one reason a blend may lose clarity. A second material does not simply add itself to the first. It may reduce the apparent strength, brightness, or recognizability of another. A perfumer may keep adding a floral because it seems weak, when the real problem is that a resin, wood, or base material is suppressing it. The answer may not be more flower, it may be less interference. Equal weight is never equal presence. Sounds obvious. One drop of a powerful absolute is not equal in olfactory terms to one drop of a mild expressed oil. Of course, some materials have low odour thresholds, strong diffusion, or long persistence. They dominate attention. They can cover the heart, bury a delicate transition, or make a formula feel flatter than it actually really is. In perfume, fairness by quantity is often unfair to the composition. Fusion is essential to perfumery. Without it, there is no accord, only a row of separate smells. But fusion becomes dangerous when it happens without intention. A floral, resinous, woody, or green structure may collapse completely into something generic. Sweet, balsamic, woody, earthy, green, herbal, but no longer particular. The intended subject disappears. The perfume has become a whole, but not a meaningful whole. Different bottles may send the nose the same message. 3 woods may all carry dry, smoky, and earthy facets. Several white florals may stack creamy, indolic, and narcotic qualities, and then multiple citrus oils may create brightness, but also accumulate terpenic sharpness. The perfumer sees different names on the bench. The nose may receive repetition. Related materials can build beauty, but only when each one changes the structure. Interesting. Contrast is one of the strongest protections against muddiness. Hear this. It does not mean violent opposition or a clashing formula. It means giving the nose differences by which to organize the perfume. A cool green edge can define a warm floral. A dry aromatic top can articulate a sweet balsamic base. And a transparent citrus can create air around a dense resin. Contrast gives the perfume legibility. Aha! Proportion is not just arithmetic. Natural materials differ radically in threshold, volatility, diffusion, persistence, and internal complexity. Volumetric equality is not olfactory equality. A formula should not be built as if every material deserves the same amount of space. It should be built by function. which material carries the subject, which supports it and which contrasts it, which bridges, which gives persistence. Each material needs a reason to be there. Dilution is not merely weakening. We have another video completely about diluting and dilution. It is a way of knowing and understanding the materials. Thick absolutes, resins, and very powerful oils can sometimes seem harsh, flat, or misleading when smelled too concentrated. Dilution can reveal hidden facets, make dosing more accurate, and show whether density itself is part of the problem. If a muddy blend becomes clearer when diluted, concentration may be involved. If it remains confused, well, maybe the formula itself needs editing. A muddy formula often contains many attractive materials, but no hierarchy. Every ingredient is trying to be the theme. The perfume may hold a floral idea, a forest idea, an incense idea, a gourmand idea, and an amber idea, all fully developed. The result is not necessarily complexity. It may be 5 unfinished perfumes sharing one bottle. Hierarchy gives the nose a route through the work. When a blend feels incomplete, adding something is very tempting. It feels like you have to do something and, it gives the blend hope. But additions often cover symptoms instead of solving the causes. A weak floral may not need another floral. It may need less resin. A dull base may not need a brighter top. It may need a cleaner transition. The disciplined response is subtraction testing. Remove, compare, and then rebuild from the core outward. Natural perfume changes after blending. Some rough edges soften and some materials become more coherent. Others become disproportionately dominant. A freshly mixed perfume should not always be treated as its final state. But aging is not the same as deterioration. Oxidization, poor storage, heat, light, and air can dull or distort materials. Sometimes the formula is not the only problem. The raw materials themselves may have lost definition. Certain patterns appear again and again in the studio. Dense floral congestion. Jasmine, Lang Lang, tuberose and osmanthus all competing in creamy indolic space. Earthy base overload. Patchouli, vetiver, oak moss, laudanum and myrrh pulling everything downward. Sweet balsamic flattening. Benzoin, vanilla and balsams covering the heart. Aggressive green overlap. Several bitter green materials shouting the same message. They are not forbidden combinations, they are risk patterns. The first repair is to restore the centre. State the intended subject in one sentence without listing the ingredients. Then identify the structural core, the few materials or accords without which the idea disappears. Evaluate at working dilution, not only from the neat concentrate. That's very important. Map dominance over time. What leads at 5 minutes, what survives at 1 hour, and what has disappeared by the dry down. Diagnosis begins with observation, of course. Once the centre is clear, repair deliberately. Test one variable at a time. Reduce the strongest suspects and remove redundant materials. Restore contrast where the perfume has become too uniform. Rebuild transitions where the top, heart and base fail to speak to one another. Then rest and reassess. The aim is not to keep polishing because materials are available. The aim is to stop when the idea becomes clear and to know when to stop. The conclusion is not that natural perfumes must be simple. Clarity is not the same as simplicity. A complex perfume can remain beautifully legible when it contains relationships. Congestion contains information without organization. Complexity unfolds. Congestion blocks movement. A good natural perfume may resist easy analysis and still be unmistakably itself. That is the difference between abundance and mud. Natural perfumery begins with abundance. Plants, resins, roots, flowers, leaves, skins, tinctures, histories, and volatile complexity. The craft is not to eliminate that abundance, of course, but to shape it into form. Know materials in dilution, respect their unequal power, use hierarchy and contrast, test subtraction, give each ingredient a purpose, and a perfume becomes clear when every part has earned its place. If you are studying with the Natural Perfume Academy, this is exactly the kind of disciplined smelling and formula diagnosis we want you to develop. Not merely liking or disliking a blend, but understanding what the perfume is doing, what it is failing to do, and how to bring it back into form. If you like this video, remember to subscribe and drop a comment. Thanks for watching.